Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is NAIMA. If you're new, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. So in today's video, we'll be talking about being kind and being religious, relating it to life generally and also in relationships. If you are in a relationship or you're about to go into a relationship, one quality I would advise you look out for is kindness. I would even say keep religion aside. Like, I'm not saying do not look for a man that does not pray, because at least praying is the minimalist aspect of religion, your respective religion, right? But I would say be more keen about his kindness, if he is kind or not, because being with a kind person solves 90% of the issues you would have in that relationship, the issues that would come up, whether in your friendship or whether in your relationship. And I am also free from my experience, from my personal experience, from what discussions I have had with other people, from people's experiences, and what I have seen and read with myself. I am free to say being kind does not equate to being religious. Being kind has nothing to do with you being religious, and being religious has nothing to do with you being kind. You can be religious and not kind. You can be kind and do not even believe in God. That is just the truth, whether we would accept it or not. You can be kind. You can be a very, very kind person. You can be extremely kind, but you do not even believe that God exists. There are people like that do not even believe that God exists, but they are kind. Where we have people that believe that God exists and everything that happens in this world happens because God has made it to happen, but they are not kind. You can be religious and have no conscience. A lot of people do not have conscience. Most people do not have conscience. We tend to do things the way we want to do it, really putting into consideration of other people's feelings and how they would feel when I act this way to them. We see it as normal to accuse people wrongly. We see it as normal to tell lies about people. We see it as normal to insult people, to break down people, to deceive people. It is now a normal thing in our society that we do not care if those people would feel bad. As I grow up, I began to see or understand things from a different perspective, on a different light, and it has really, really shaped my thinking and how I see people or how I perceive people. Growing up, when I was much younger, let's say 17, 18, I would always describe the kind of man I want to end up with as being religious. You would hear me say things like he has to have beards, he has to have that sunnah beard, he has to wear those three-quarter trousers, like those trousers that are not up to your ankle. He has to all those kind of physical attributes. I will name them. Thinking of kindness was never in my mind. I never thought of getting married to a kind man, because I just assumed that if you are religious, then you are kind. But people have proved me wrong. Now I'm not talking about relationships. It could be friendships. It could be of your siblings. It could also be your boss at work. Just name them. You could actually see people who are unkind in different parts of our life, in different aspects of our life. It doesn't have to be marriage, it doesn't have to be relationship. I have gotten to realize that being religious does not mean you are kind. I would also say that personally, it is actually a good thing to go for someone who is kind over someone who is religious, because you can be religious and not follow or actually do what your religion asks you to do. Because I believe there is no religion that preaches violence. There is no religion that preaches one to be unkind to other people, regardless of that person's religion. Allow them do what they want to do. Personally, in my religion, you are expected to be kind to other people from other religions. You have no right to judge them. Let them do their religion, do your own. Nobody should try to force anybody to go into any other person's religion. When you feel my religion is good for you, you are welcome. You are always welcome to my religion, but do not try to force your religion on me. It is there in my in the Quran. Do not force your religion on other people, and nobody should force their religion on you. I used to put people's religion first before them, but people have really proved me wrong. I am that kind of a person that seeing before, not now. I'm that kind of a person that seeing you from afar wearing a long hijab or wearing having beard or something, I just assume that that person will be a nice person, that person will be kind, that person will be a good person. But getting closer to you, I would then realize that, oh, I was actually wrong. I have actually been proven wrong in so many occasions, so many occasions, that do not judge people based on their appearance. The fact that one is keeping beards, the fact that I one is a pastor, or the fact that one is wearing a long hijab and a niqab, the fact that I am one is a pope, one is a sister in the church, or all of that doesn't mean that person is good. It doesn't mean that person is a kind person. If that person see chance to take wicked you today, that person no go think of that God way they serve. The person go wicked you. We really need to understand that before religion, we are actually humans, or we were humans, or we are humans. Before you call me a Muslim, I am a human. Before you call me a Christian, I am a human. That kindness has to be there. That pity, that sympathy for people has to be there. That empathy, putting yourself in people's shoes before you take any decision or before you judge anybody, has to be there before you now say, okay, yes, I am a Muslim. We have to be kind. We need to be kind. Our various religion have taught us to be kind. Do not quote your religion based on what aligns to what you do. A lot of us do this, that we do not quote the part of the Quran that does not fit what we do. We quote it based on how it fits what we do, because we don't want to change, or because we don't want to be seen as bad people. We then quote the Quran as it suits us and not as it is supposed to be. When you marry a kind person, when you live with kind people, when you are in a relationship with a kind person, the difference is clear. You would obviously see the difference with with a kind person and be with an unkind person. A kind person will always give you room. A kind person will always give you that benefit of doubt. A kind person will always put you themselves in your shoes. A kind person would always want to see you grow. A kind person would always want to a kind person will always basically put their self in your shoes. Okay, if I do this to this person, if I was the one, how would I feel? Do you get? Not just act irrationally. You need to act rationally, logically and all. Don't just act because you want to act. You just act without putting people into consideration, without thinking about how people would feel, people involved in that setting, how they would feel if you do this to them. Would they feel bad? A lot of people are depressed today because of other people. We are not compassionate. We just talk. Anything that comes to our mind, we just say it. If the hands of clock were to be turned around, trust me, those things you did to that person, you will not be able to tolerate it. You will not be able to take it. You will not be able to stand it. Not to talk of even tolerating it, because you are not that strong to do it, or because you know it is wrong, oh, but because you're not the one in that person's shoes, you will do what you want to do. You will do what pleases you. I'm also free to say that most people who claim to be religious actually commit a lot of atrocities over those people who are not religious. They commit atrocities and then back it up with quotes, back it up with quotes from their various religion. I would do something that is this bad, that obviously it is bad. Obviously I have deceived this person. Obviously this is me using one for my own selfish reason, and then back it up with an Islamic quote that is not even it at all. Let's say, for example, a man deceiving a girl into marriage, and all he wanted was just to have his way with her, but because he wasn't getting it, he now came in form of marriage. After some years, after giving birth to one or two children, he divorces her. The first excuse that he would give will be it is allowed for a man to get if it is allowed for someone to get married solely because of sex, because you don't want to commit zina, you don't want to commit adultery. It's allowed for one to get married because of that reason. Secondly, divorce is allowed in Islam. Do you not get what I mean? You know your intention was never to get married to that girl. Your intention was just to have your way with her. and you came in with marriage, because obviously, okay, he's coming for marriage and you portrayed other good qualities, obviously she would accept you. You got married to her, made her have one or two children for you, and then divorce her. And now you're now bringing the issue of divorce is allowed. You will now use one or two mistakes from her to now ponder on that issue and make it be the reason why you are divorcing her, not knowing that your intention was actually not to marry her in the first place. And even if, okay, even if you accept, you agreed to marry her, you had it in mind that you would divorce her if she misbehaves. Any little misbehavior she brings up, you would use that to divorce her. Do you get what I mean? His excuse will be, one, it is allowed to get married to someone for sex, and the second one is divorce is allowed in Islam. But you yourself know that your intention initially, right from the onset, has not been a good intention. So people tend to do more, religious people tend to do more atrocities and then back it up with quotes from the Quran, quotes from the Hadith, to make it feel like what they did is right. Marry a kind person over a religious person 100 times. I will keep on saying this. Marry someone who is kind, be with someone who is kind over someone who is religious. There are still people who are religious and are kind at the same time. There are still people who are religious and are kind, they still have that fear of God. I would actually say you marry someone who is God fearing and not religious. Marry someone who is God fearing and kind and not religious. Using the word religious is not it. The word God fearing is more appropriate. At least if one is God fearing, you would not want to offend anybody. Do you get? You will not want to deceive anybody. You will not want to lie against anybody. You will not want to accuse anybody wrongly. So I would say marry one who is God fearing over one who is religious. Marry one who is kind over one who is religious. Second example I want to bring up is, you see a woman who was a divorcee, she never told her husband, her new husband, of her past marital status. She came up as a single girl. That is deceit. But what that the excuse she will be bringing up now will be, it is not good to say your past. It is not good to talk about your past. It happens in the society. We've seen a lot of cases when one will hide her marital status and tells the husband that she is a single lady. After marriage or on the wedding day, the man realizes that, oh, this lady is even a divorcee, but she never told me. When you confront her, or when issues become big or become serious, her excuse will be, as Allah has asked us to hide our past from people. And that, which is very valid. God has asked us to hide our past from people, but it will only be sensible for you, like humanity. If you are a kind person, really, it will only be normal for you to discuss about your marital status with the man you want to get married to. Because if the table was to be turned around, you would not tolerate it and you would not be happy with it. So why now do it to your fellow human being, when you know if the table was to be turned around, you will not be happy with him. So yeah, I just thought of bringing this up to my channel. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, and share. Drop a comment in the comment section. See you in my next video. Bye.